No.
Hi everyone, welcome to the 7th episode of The Treat Show. This is J-Lo, and joining me is my co-host OG Tyler. How you doing, OG Tyler?
I'm good, man. I'm just hanging out on a nice Sunday evening.
That is what I like to hear. This is what we're going to start doing on our Sunday evenings.
Yeah, man.
How do you feel about it?
I'm with it.
I think it's kind of exciting because we haven't been good about, this has been my fault, not OG Tyler's, but about having a show, at a set time and schedule. And so we're going to shoot for Sundays at 7:10 to really start taking our show to a different level.
Next level, baby.
It's going to be good. So OG Tyler, tell me about your week. How's
Week's been good. Just working with some good flavs at 710. Just trying to crush it out. What's some of the ones we've been working with? We've been working with this Bad Apple, which is like a Fatso cross. Hella stable.
Ooh.
It's really, really good. If you like that, like GMO, like mothball, terp. Some other stuff we've been working with, I'm trying to think. I mean, we've been doing a lot of like Starburst 36.
Ooh.
We have 2 different phenos of that. Nice orange, like clementine vibe on that.
Really? Is it like, does it pull like bold like Tangy or something like that? Or
It's like not the same profile as Tangy, but it's in that same like orange wheelhouse, but it's good.
Does it taste okay? Like I don't know. Do you actually feel like it gets you high?
We're not
though?
worried about that really.
I know that's good, but does
but-
it actually get you high though? That's really more what I meant.
I mean like yeah, I mean like it's a good like more cerebral vibe.
Gonna go for a hike or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good flavor too. Like we have 2 phenos, the 40, and I believe it's the 1. But yeah, no, one is kind of more of like a rotten fruit, and one's more of like a brighter like tropical thing.
Which one do you like better?
Probably the 40. It's got more of that clementine like vibe.
Sounds so nice.
Yeah, that one's good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's been like really smacking. I mean, we have this this Jackson Heights that's like more like gelato, like candy, terp. That one it is very, very fire. We just packaged up some batter, some rosin batter of that, and it's fire.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. So we got a bunch of different things. It's just been cranking. Just been,
Is there a store just for people that are at least in Colorado, or if you know some other locations that we could shout out where people can pick up 710s hash at?
Oh, man. Clips in Boulder. You can pick it up at Spark off Colorado Boulevard. You can pick it up at Den Rec. You can pick it up at
Greenfields, don't they have
Greenfields. Yeah, Greenfields. Man, I mean, most light shade locations, I think, are carrying our product. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, really,
everywhere.
pretty much everywhere. But yeah, no, I mean,
Awesome.
I really like the people at Eclipse. They know good hash. They know good flour. They know just good product. Period. They're in Boulder, and I like the people at a Cut Above as well. You can also get our product there, but they're very knowledgeable. That's the thing. You can go in there and they have like 50 75 different strains or whatever, and then they can like really tell you what's hitting, what's not, you know.
Dang. Have you seen? I brought in a little bit of hash today for later in the show or whenever you feel up to it. It's like we could do a little review on some products. I've got some goodies like Binsk. I feel like because of you, that's such a good connection. I've really been digging their hash. Some good flavors and consistencies. It looks really clean. But like Dab Logic, that's another one that I've really been digging with the 710. Good old Apothecary, Mountain Select. Those are two others that I'm just curious to see your feedback on.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of different brands. You know, whether or not, you know, it's like the material that they're working with, you know. I mean, it's a mixture of both. It's just like what their technique is and what the material is that they have. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think that there's very few hash companies really even doing anything like noteworthy, you know,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think that's really good that you said that. It's funny even with flour. I was talking to a couple friends today, and it's pretty hard to find like stuff that you really are stoked on. I'm not saying there's not good products out there or people aren't doing good things, but like it's really hard to find like a batch that's really special that you almost don't want to share with anybody, that you stash in your drawer, and you know.
Yeah, it seems like that's not. I mean, we were talking about it. Like some people at work, we were talking about just maybe potentially going to California to like get flour because there's like no good flour, you know.
It's really sad to see for Colorado, I think, because if you talk to anybody that like really was in the industry in like 2011 to like 2013, 14, is I feel like there was a lot of good like weed across the state. Especially I think in like Boulder and Denver, you had these like small boutique grows. And ever since like the recreational thing kind of happened, it seems like our quality hash, it's great. I mean, Colorado, I think, is doing great with the hash selection and like products with that. But like, I don't know. I haven't seen anything that I'm like really, really raving over.
No, and I mean, there's not even a lot of hash that is like is you know, a lot of the hash is just booth. Like it's like, yeah, I mean, there's majority of it is like, I mean, people can say that like our hash game is way better than California or whatever, but it's like I don't know, is it really? Because like there's just booth coming out of here. It's like there's like it's rare that you can find anything that's just like crazy good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. There's just a lot of brands in California, flower wise, that are really doing it, and I think that's going to be the move for some of the people that really just want to get good flowers. Like either there or Michigan. Michigan looks like it's like cranking out some really good flower.
Michigan is definitely, I'm hearing that be the new hotspot, actually.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what goes on. I just know that we're just falling off pretty hard in Colorado. You know, I hate to say it.
I'm thinking about like for our show actually in general is I want to start documenting my garden, just like the small section that I keep of like my library, and I'm gonna start flowering soon, and so I think it would be cool if we could almost show people like little clips and like help with like certain little suggestions or tips and tricks on you know, like cloning to flower to what pots to use to what medium to use, like some of these things, even lights on what they're, you know, pulling as far as terpene content and these variables that go into the plants. I think it would just be kind of cool moving forward to like educate the best ways that we can see without ever stepping on anybody's toes or being disrespectful, but like pointing out some of the obstacles that all these growers and breeders are facing, and like, I don't know, really try to come up with solutions as a community to bring back the quality. I think in Colorado is like, you know, the whole.
Yeah, you know, it's tough because like uh, when you're trying to bring back quality, nobody wants to pay.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know,
It's
like
true.
it sucks because I mean, really good product is a little bit more expensive.
I think that's something that we really need to touch on. Now that you said that, though, is like I think it's a huge flaw that I see. Like it was funny is like recently I was just in Hawaii and I smoke cigarettes and the cigarettes were $20 a pack in Hawaii. And then I was thinking about it and I was like, in Colorado, like weed's not even $20 an eighth anymore, like most places. And like you can get, ounces for $50 here or whatever at certain location or whatever. But
Right.
I was just thinking like it's finally to the point where they've made it where cigarettes are almost more valuable than weed's becoming. And like the accessibility, like I don't know. It's like I almost feel like people are getting they don't trust dispensaries anymore to go purchase weed from, and the quality across the board it seems like it's almost stagnant at the same like sixth grade weed, um, or like I don't know. It's just I. But then I see these growers and breeders that stand out that are trying to charge $400 to $600 for an ounce of weed, and people are laughing at them and are like, "Why would I ever pay this?" But I think what people don't realize is it's not breaking down like like, oh, this guy is balling out because he's making 14,000 on a pound. If we do the math this way, it's like I think if people really seen how much money goes into it behind the scenes, and if you're taking your garden longer with like your actual finishing times or your cure times or your flush times, all these different things, or strains, how like the yields will fluctuate so dramatically, is I think that it would be cool to see the actual consumers change to the point where like you really you really should be treating yourself to some good weed, and like you should, I think, feel more than comfortable but like encouraged to pay for quality so that these growers stop getting stomped out by like the big dogs that financially can sell a pound for $200 a pound, and they don't really care about quality the same as somebody that's trying to get 1,000 right now in the market where we're at is like top quality. But when you really break down the cost of producing product, you can't be making that.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's a lot of different things combined that makes you be able to have your product sell for a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Having hype, having marketing, having good product, having there's a lot of different variables that make something just like sell.
Who's the guys? There's one in California and one in New York that both sell their ounces for over 1,000 or 1,000 an ounce. And
I know that the dude who bred the Starburst OG, I know he gets like $1,400 a zip right now in California.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's like a niche market of
Mm-hmm.
people that would buy that, and then, you know, I mean, it's a niche people, but there's also really, 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 really good weed, that's out in like the Michigan market and the California market that is, like $50-$60 plus tax, an eighth
Mm-hmm.
at the dispensary or whatever, that would put like everyone's flower to shame. Like,
Wow.
a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think 50 or 60 to me though, like throughout all of our growth in the market, at years in it now is like, I think that's a good price point to me. Like where you can still afford it. You would still kind of smoke with your friends. I don't think you're going to cruise through it the same. but
yeah.
it allows, I think, like for a full market. Like you can go to a place to go watch a budget if you're going out to a party or an outing where you're going to be smoking all night. Like maybe you don't bring the best of the best. But I feel like if you're going to really treat yourself or like really enjoy like the cannabis itself, like the full terpene profile, the actual I don't know,
No,
effects of it.
100%. Yeah. I mean, and I think now the consumer has gotten smarter and has been able to, um, kind of see what all the brands in the market are doing, and like I don't know, they know what a joint's supposed to look like when it's burning, and it's burning really good, and like people know what it's supposed to taste like when it's when it's hitting good. Like the consumer knows now. So like,
Not like this blunt.
what was going on with
Sorry,
that?
got some technical difficulties going on over
I don't
here.
know. I think you should just quit smoking blunts, period. But that's just my opinion. But like we at like I I started seeing like um weed that was burning, 10 out of 10 white ash,
Yeah.
like bone white ash. And then I started seeing weed that when people were smoking joints had like a resin ring around the like the end of it. And um I know that people can like turn a joint upside down and then try to like let that burn, but like there is weed that like has a natural resin ring on it,
Totally.
and that's
True.
the weed I'm looking for. And that's like there's like a group of us at work that like it's like 2023 is like, if that weed is like not like dripping through the paper, like
Yeah.
we're not trying to even smoke it. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing.
That's
Is
a
like
good standard.
we have like that's the thing is like we have to get away from just smoking like mids
Yeah.
and like find the weed and support the brands that are putting out quality product. Like that's really it. No
That's it.
matter who it is.
That's exactly what I think. Like, I think it's cool. Like, everybody's becoming like anti potency and anti. I mean, just these percentages and numbers. It seems like for the most part, and I think it's really good though that if it stops being such a regular normalized thing where we all just smoke just to get high, and goes back into this real connoisseur, just value and appreciation for good product, like you're saying. I think it would.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'd really take the market to the next level.
Yeah, no. Does the weed taste good? Does it burn white? And I mean, really does it have a resin ring on it? And those are the things like really are the determining factors like of quality cannabis in joint form. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
really, like, is it bone white?
Mm-hmm.
Like the ash? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
and that's a mixture of, is the weed good? Is the roll good?
Is it flushed properly?
Yeah, I mean,
Is
like everything, like it's yeah, I mean, like I don't know. And hash is just a matter of like, are there a bunch of really good brands out here that are crushing it? No, not really. Like it's just kind of like it's really like two or three brands, maybe you got maybe four people that could even be involved in a conversation, but like I mean legally, I mean probably even illegally too. This means garbage out there anyway. Everybody's running these same strains. They say that they're not. They're like a bunch of renamed stuff. Like it's all trash.
It is like, it's funny, like you pointed this out in one of our episodes where like OG Kush, all these strains like that have been renamed by like the area or the person that they go to.
Yep.
But they all really come back to these core, it just seems like the core basic strains. Like everybody loves and misses like the real diesels. I know that they're
Yeah. No. 100%. I was listening to Archive talk about how like Kyle Cushman got some bag seed of OG and then ended up calling it like the poison OG or whatever, and then he has like his face off, which is just like a bag seed of OG.
oh
So it's like it's not really OG, but
Yeah.
I mean it is, but it isn't, you know what I mean? And so it's, I don't know.
it's the I think they should almost like have a different category. Like not even like phenos because that's technical and all part of this, but I feel like it should almost be talked about. I think a little bit differently than strains are actually like presented. Is like because of the history of them being so. I don't know. There's a lot of controversy, you know, amongst like who bred what or where stuff originally came from, but or when people find bag seed particularly and like rename it and then say that they are a really popular breeder and they did blow up because of some of these things. Like I don't know. I think that as consumers, people should like almost like check people on that. Like,
Do their research.
yeah.
Just go look. I mean, it's tough, man, because like a lot of that stuff was like not really well documented. So, you know, it's just it's hard. But I mean, some of the breeders will like talk to you, you know, like on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
Some of them won't. I mean, you can sometimes do. You can maybe look back and posts and kind of figure out like things and you know maybe look at like seed bank websites and kind of figure out like genetics and like what's what, but I mean, you know.
Well, and I often wonder, like, with that, is like, what would be the proper way? Like, I think we're pretty fortunate because our work and like our personal lives are around the cannabis industry and like fortunate enough to be a part of like the Adam Dunn show or like some of these things
Yep.
where you get to meet people a part
Yep.
of this. But like for the people that like honestly don't have access like that, say you do find or you buy a pack of seeds, like what would be the proper thing? Like if you can't slide into a guy's DMs to be like, can I have permission to rename this and repost this or collaborate with you? It seems like there's no proper way. It's like if they were to take that and they're nobody and go do something with it, then the breeder doesn't really give a fuck. But then it's like if they are somebody though and like admire or respect a breeder and then they go buy the seeds from them and pick a pheno and then rename it under their own gear or breed it with their own stuff, there's like all these problems that become, you know, like these.
I don't know. I don't really think so. Like I think that like perfect example is the people in Oakland, the Deep East. They went and got like 12 packs of OZ Kush seeds from Dying Breed, and they popped the seeds and found a really good pheno, and then ended up working with that in their like Zope and RS11 lines. So, but like nobody like that's what third gen like wanted though. They wanted people to spend ungodly amounts of money on seed packs and hopefully get something fire. If you didn't, you didn't, and you just spent $500 on a seed pack.
That's true.
So I mean, to think about like that was smart buying 12 seed packs of OZ Kush, and I mean that's a lot of money. You know what I mean?
True.
But they were able to find something that worked. You know, and I think that there's a lot of, that's the fun. You know, and I think at the end of the day, like there are people like Doja Pack who will release clones for like $1,000, and if you find like a pheno or something that's really really dope, or if you buy seeds from them and you find something crazy, they'll buy the cutback for 10 grand.
Wow.
So you know what I mean? Like that's cool. Like, you know, just being able to like network because they wanna work and they wanna find good gear and you know.
I've learned that even with like and the people hate when they see like my pricing on like clones or seeds or anything like that. But like it sounds ridiculous, but when I see a lot of these other seed banks or things like this, is like I understand that everybody's like hustling and everybody's got to take care of, you know, each other. But I feel like I like to know like where my seeds go to, where the genetics that like I'm selling go to, and like I hate to say this, but like almost choose like the quality of person or quality of grower that like is working with certain things. And it's not because like the plants aren't resilient or like things like that, but I really want it to be like a treat to somebody, because when I see like, for instance, like Jack Herrera is like, I have that clone and I remember when it first came out, it was a 10K cut and like that meant it sold for $10,000 and like it was his cut and this like special, pheno. And now I see where like people like they like it's not even close to being worth $10,000. Like
It ain't even close worth to being $10.
Oh come on! I love the Jack.
Jack sucks, dude.
Oh,
Nobody wants to have
so
Jack
you don't like
terps.
that fucking you don't like that palette exactly. You like
No
that. So
way.
you don't like Durban. You probably
Nope.
don't like Golden Goat. You probably don't like
None of that.
Moonshine. Yeah,
And they're all different, but they're all not anything I want to smoke.
and they all have that like terpene though. I feel like it's not like as.
I don't want to smoke it.
I can't.
It's nasty.
Well, that is
Nobody wants to smoke that.
That I mean that I appreciate that, but
I
like
mean, that's not where terps are right now.
no, I think that like everybody, like you said, is after.
Anybody who's trying to go back to those terps, let me tell you something. Like anybody who's trying to go back to Jack Herrera terps or Durban poison terps or any Golden Goat or anything that tastes like Mac, stop. Please, like that's not you're killing our culture trying to go backwards in time like that. Like if you want to go back to like OG, that's fine. If you
Yeah.
want to go back to some real sour diesel,
Cat or
yeah, and then
like,
people
yeah.
are like, oh, well, there is no real sour diesel, or oh, well, this, that, the other. There is still real sour diesel.
Totally. Just hard to come by, I think.
Yeah, and thanks to Adam Dunn's show, like I've been able to understand like where it came from, and like who still has like the original sour diesel, and it still is around, and like you can, figure all that stuff out. Like,
You're right.
I mean, it really is, and it's not through freaking AJ sour diesel.
I just can't.
It's not through that. So
I just can't.
and you know what I mean. So at the end of the day, like, yeah, I mean, like, but nobody. We don't need to be going back to this nasty old. No, nobody wants to. I'm
But-
sorry. I respect the haze thing, and I respect the piff thing, and I know that they're different from each other. But I don't want really anything to do with like a frankincense terp or anything like
That's
that.
just not your.
I don't want that. Like that's not my thing. But I will smoke OG. I'll smoke some, Kemp variety.
This is weird, but like those hazes, like particularly, it's not really like the terpene profile to me, but like there's something about when growing them, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but there's something about like the smell in the garden and like that they take this extended amount of time to really dial in, and usually they're massive, like super lemon haze or like any of these things, they grow so large and like just so vigorous, I guess, that like they almost like captivate me more. It's like the cultivation side than like the actual finished product, which sounds weird, but versus like the Kushes and like all those strains, diesel, like all those in a garden, like they seem to be like more finicky, like they're they're like shorter typically, and like I don't want to say like they're just shorties, and they all have their different, I don't know, kind of profiles, but they finish a little bit younger, not younger, but like 9-10 weeks you can go like easy every time, I don't know. It's like a growing thing with the haze. I feel like I just need to let it go.
Yeah, I'm not smoking that. Neither should you. Neither should you smoke blunts. You should be converted to joints, element joints, and that's that's.
Tyler, you want to roll a joint?
Yeah, I mean, not like
It's gonna
that's
roll
the
it.
thing. Like I'll come correct with some flour here soon of something that maybe is like decent enough to
Joint-worthy?
like do a review on, like, and we can shout out the company and maybe try to get some, like, if the weed's good, maybe some love, but if it's not, then that's all good too. Because
I really want to talk about, like, in the upcoming episodes, is like I want to talk about though, like how if you use. I've been hearing all these people like bashing on salts left and right, and like talking about organic only, organic only, organic only, and like when I actually work in these facilities that are quote unquote organic, like you see that they use Clonex, you see that they use all of these different things that, like, I'm not picking on them for using, but
let me tell you something.
yeah.
The only way you're going to be able to tell if weed is good or not, no matter what you're doing, what program, whatever, roll it up, burn it,
Get it.
smoke it, and like then you can tell if it sucks right as soon as you hit it, like you know what I'm saying,
You
like
know.
at this point, like at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing in your garden, I mean, I understand it matters, but man, like roll it up. If it ain't burning right, not tasting right,
Yeah, there's not.
more than likely y'all ain't gonna have no resin rings on there. So, I mean, it's the truth. Because
It
you
is
look
the
at half
truth.
the joints that people are burning on Instagram or whatever, and most of them are not burning like that.
No.
They're not. And like, I'll send you videos because I see them all the time.
Please.
And like it's also people should get on Telegram because like there's like tons of weed stuff on Telegram that like people are not allowed to show on Instagram and this whole thing.
Why don't
And,
you make us a Telegram page?
yeah, like my thing is like because I can barely manage the Telegram situation that's going on my phone. Believe me.
We need an assistant.
But I'll say this: there's a lot of like really good weed out there.
There is.
You just have to find it, and it's probably not really in Colorado, unfortunately.
Well,
Which sucks. But
that's what I really want to start doing, like small batches. Like what I've worked at, like Pank or Dank by Pank, sorry, is like we used to sell our stuff to Eclipse, and Eclipse at one point in time only had like smaller gardens. I wouldn't say like it was just like connoisseur, like small retail shop, and everybody knew to go
it's
there.
still a small retail shop.
Yeah, and all like I feel like it's like the hidden gem though. It's like they do only carry like select people, and
It's quality.
It is quality, and
Yeah, there's a good selection though as well. You know what I mean?
the people that work there are so kind. It's a great,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I think that when you go into like it's weird. But I went to Live Well one day. And it's funny because I actually go to these companies all the time and like buy weed or like go talk to them about work or whatever. But like so I do see their products like and I see their full parking lot sometimes. Like Livewell will have a fully stacked like line all the way out their door, like whatever on a Tuesday. You know what I mean? But they're selling like I think their cheapest ounce is like 50, and they go up to like maybe 150. I think on their cheap side. I think they also carry like Green Dot and 710 and like other companies as well, but they're in house. And it's crazy to me though because they're slammed. And then you go to like these boutique little mom and pop stores, and they're like nobody is there, nobody knows about them. But I think that we got to change that. We got to help. I feel like we got to help some of these retail stores stay alive instead of being like, I only smoke homegrown and like I don't go to the dispensaries or whatever. I think it's cool if you can support like growers and breeders out there that you really truly like their products. But I think that consumers should start like expanding their store horizon as well.
Yeah, no, I heard that through the grapevines of like weed peoples that the Green Dot A5 flower is really, really fire. It's like some downshift cross. I don't remember what the actual cross is, but it's downshift cross or something. But I heard that was really, really good flower.
Dang.
Yeah, through like different bud tenders and people that like work at my company and like but at the end of the day like there's not a lot there's not a lot of really really just fire.
There's nothing like you go to this store on this time to get this strain and you can't miss your chance, or like something like a store that you really or like that you're going for
The closest thing is like that Green Dot stuff.
Totally.
Or like maybe, I mean, the drops 710 are more available now, so it's not like that. But
Rare Dignus and 710, I think back in the day though, you used to sell out immediately.
it was just low inventory, man.
Yep.
I mean, they didn't have a lot of. I mean, that's really like the way. That's really the way to do it. but I get it. Like you gotta meet your numbers and the things like that. So, like,
You guys are doing it right though. Like out of all the companies, like 710 is definitely like crushing.
we're doing flour for not being a flour company.
Yeah, that's so
You know what I
impressive.
mean?
And
You
you guys
know,
are selling on a top tier. Like, I mean this in a complimentary way. Is it's great to see a company out there providing the quality and having the price point to go with it though. I haven't seen like really inexpensive, I guess, or I don't know. It's competitive with connoisseur shelf flour here, but it is still a little extra, and it's cool to see people paying that in 710 thriving.
yeah. Well, we're gonna see what happens in like the Florida market where we're releasing flour there, and there's also some really good companies releasing flour in Florida, and we're releasing product in Michigan, and there's already some fire in Michigan, like really fire.
I
Like
did
I wish I could smoke it.
I did consulting there years ago when it like, but at this place Sticky Ipsy, it's a great little dispensary. But there's this guy Mr. Gray, and it's funny. I would love to meet him. I've never tried to find him really since then, but he makes hash there, and it was some of the most beautiful hash I had ever seen even then. And that was when they were doing like the caregiver, where they would come in and independently sell to the store instead of. But Mr. Gray, if you ever cross his path there, I'm sure you will. But he's a very good hash guy.
Shoot, yeah, no, I mean, I just see that there's a lot of really good flour being put out of there.
They have like a better growing. It's weird, but they seem like they have really small grows, like more like basement style grows, and like, but their humidity and some of these other things that I know would be difficult to combat, like cure times and like powder mildew and things like that. But like at the same time, I think that their veg is like they get this great vegetational like climate kind of that's a lot more ideal than like Colorado for its dry and like I don't know.
I know the facilities I've seen out there, brand new facilities that look amazing. That I wish, I wish that every grow looked like,
Well, we've got a guest coming on. We're gonna start like having guests. OG Tyler, you're gonna be so excited. He's gonna be like an actual co-host. You guys will like the show better. It'd be great. But we're gonna have Jenny from Dutch Botanicals on and a couple other great women in the industry. But Jenny,
How are we getting Jenny on the block on?
so this is really funny. Is Jenny like 5 years ago ish? Is like we were gonna work together. It's like when she got
What?
her facility, she asked me to take over and run her facility, and I honestly turned down the job, but I recommended somebody else that ended up working there as her head grower, and they had an organic like raised bed system. It was like beautiful for the commercial scale or whatever. But yeah, Jenny one time we were in a meeting and she gave me her jacket because I complimented her jacket and I knew that we were gonna be. She says we're sisters. And I just want you to know, Jenny's my sister. Just kidding. Oh, but she's one of my favorite women in the industry.
You have Jenny's number?
Yeah, I miss.
Text her and tell her Steve needs to come on the show.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Okay, so that's what she said.
That's her
from
right-hand man.
From Cookies.
no,
No.
no. Steve is
Different.
If we're talking about we're talking about the same company and the same lady. Steve is her right hand man. He makes all her hash. Like
Oh yeah.
yeah, 100%.
That's
We need
so
him on
funny. Yeah. So
here. He's my boy.
I'm so happy that you said this. So Jenny wants. This is all supposed to unfold, but we're supposed to do a really good episode with Jenny and her friends, basically, which are all boss women in the industry, and like
Steve's not a boss woman.
Steve's not, but we'll make a hash. We'll do a hash special for Steve.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's crazy.
You should.
It's a small world, though. That's But hey,
It was cool to see Jenny's facility. She has a pretty big spot, and it was cool to see her build it out. Like to see it from nothing to like where it is now is like pretty freaking cool.
the hash operation is very, very nice.
Yes.
I see it from time to time. you know, and it's very nice for sure.
Well, do you think that is there something that we're missing? Like, I feel like we need like we need current events that are happening wild in the world or just cannabis focused, maybe.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're doing this. I mean, the ZA Olympics is going on in California,
Killing it.
and it's just like, uh, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, like, I'm trying to figure out. Let's see here, who all the people are that are involved in it. uh, the lineup for that one is Alien Labs, Blackleaf, Cali Kush Farms, Grandia Flora, Hydro Boys, Josh D, Kushco, Family Farms, Lumpy's Flowers, Sea Junkie Genetics, Surge Cannabis, Super Dope, The Bakery, The Tenco, Wizard Trees, just to name a few. I mean, there's a ton.
Those
I
are
mean,
great.
I mean, my God, like, just off of that, like, I'm just like, good night.
Spanibus, I mean,
Spanibus is going on.
are you
I'm not going because I got to work.
dang, same problems. These so
I know a bunch of people are going out there though, like Dying Breeds going out there. They're doing like the Ego Clash in Barcelona. Um, I
ooh,
mean, there's like a bunch of like weird cups that are going on, but I just don't see any point in that.
mm-mm.
Cause like what? Like I mean, it's good brand exposure if you have a brand that you're gonna go like push. But at the end of the day, like man, um, it'd be fun, but I don't know. Like when I
Yeah.
go to events like that, like cannabis events, like I need to be in a kind of like a comfortable situation. And being in Europe and doing something like that, I don't know, it'd be cool, but like I'd still kind of be on like edge a little bit. I think because it'd be so far away from home.
You're
You know,
right.
going to the cannabis cups here and stuff like that is a lot different because like I'm close to home and like
You can leave when you're
I
done.
can leave and
You can
like
come back.
yeah, or even going to California and going to like Chalice or something big like that, like you still have the ability to kind of like leave and like go back to something that you kind of know,
Yeah, you're right.
you know?
It is intimidating to me. Like Spanibus, I've missed like, and it's funny because I worked with companies that like doing the garden and like where they place like Harmony was one that like when I was with them, they placed and went out to Spain for the big I don't know. And I remember being so sad that I couldn't go because I was actually the head grower and like actually couldn't like leave like that.
It's like for Dabadoo or something that they want. There's some weird cups that are going on over there.
They do a lot though.
It's like, what do those people really know about smoking hash too? Like, I'll be honest with you, they've been probably smoking freaking European hash or hash that's been like smuggled from the United States. It's probably no good anyway.
Yeah, not stored properly.
Like that's
All
the
the things.
thing.
I think that's where it's getting weird though with like all these competitions. Like I remember even when we would go back in the day, it was such a cooler sorry. It was such a better experience I felt like because the community was so small and it wasn't so flashy or so it was just so different. And I think now it's weird but when we were in Vegas for the last cannabis thing is like they're so big now like the buildings themselves and the events themselves are just so massive and then I feel like the market's so flooded with competitions all the time and like huge categories like vast things versus like back in the day it used to be like 1 to 2 a year that was like for you know the Rooster Cup or like something just something small and I think now there's just so many competitions that people are like people pay to win or like they're friends with somebody or just these weird kind of dynamics or weird protocols that like nobody knows how these things are actually being judged like if they're fair in the first place or like I don't know, contamination issues, all these like weird things. I think people have just like lost interest, honestly, or not even lost. I think the young era in cannabis community is like very into all that stuff still, but I think all the OGs are like so like burnt out on.
Some are, you know,
You know.
most are, if we had something really like, I don't know. So like there's if you're pushing good product, man, then or you're surrounded by good people or whatever, then it's easier to like go and push that stuff. And you know that's why I see a lot of why the black market is it thrives is because you know you go out and hustle for yourself, and you
Changes
kind of
it.
have more uh, selection on whether or not it's going to work or not, or it's going to be good or not, or you
Yeah, it does
control
make
the
you-
situation.
I love that. I wanted to answer one question in our chat tonight is on the flush of a plant. Somebody asked just how I like to flush. So it depends on how you're actually growing, like in what type of medium or soil. I grow personally in rock wool and cocoa. Right now, I do love soil. I don't want people to think I don't do it. I put certain strains in different mediums. But if you take magnesium sulfate, this is really cool actually, is it's really inexpensive if you buy it in the raw form. And if you take and you measure it at 0.5 gram per gallon, it will get your plants to uptake more feed of, so like if you're having a deficiency, you feel like in other areas of your garden, you can add that 0.5 gram per gallon and it will help your plant uptake the different nutrients. But I recommend starting with checking your EC level or your ppm if that's what you go off of your runoff. So I'm running about a 1.4. So my plants flush really fast. And so if you take 1 gram of magnesium sulfate, that'll make your plants pull out nutrients and strip the plant. So the only reason that I started with if you add it, you can really mess this up. I've seen growers do this where most bases, like salt bases or nutrient baselines, they're part A's or B's. They, God damn it, this is why I just wish I didn't smoke and try to talk about this. Is they usually have magnesium sulfate in them already, and even if it's at a low level, if you're adding even a 0.5 gram, it will balance out to 1 gram per gallon, and you start stripping your plant when you don't want to. But if you're flushing, I would give it 7 days at least in hydro. It would be a little bit different with soil. I'd probably do like 14 to 18 days. But yeah, I would do 1 gram per gallon of magnesium sulfate. And I think it's a good starting point. But you should always go off of your runoff. Like I don't think people get into the habit enough of like just checking your runoff of your plant before you start the actual flush. And I think that we just dive in there, but even parts of the trays, like where your plants will sit or parts of the room, like they'll start uptaking differently. So it's good to just check your runoff.
Check it.
Check it. OG Tyler gets so annoyed when I suck at this stuff.
No, it's okay. No, I'm just looking at the clock because I do gotta be back at a decent hour to go to bed. It's getting late.
All right, guys. OG Tyler's ready to call it a night. But should we have you review at least one product from this selection?
You got your Carta over there?
I got the card up. Yep.
You going to Carterstown? Which
I mean-
Which one are you gonna review?
Well, you're gonna do it.
Which one are you gonna review?
This is all you. I've reviewed all of these.
No.
You gotta get up.
What's your favorite thing that you've smoked?
Honestly, it's not my favorite, but I appreciate it the most. It's called French Onion.
Who's it by?
Dab Logic, actually. Hold on.
Oh, you got all them Dab Logics over there?
That's what I'm talking about. But the hazelnut cream is good. Do you like these ones maybe? But I think this is the onion one. Yeah, the French onion. So this stuff, you should try it. I don't even want to tell you about it now yet, but it seriously is the most French onion splash bath you will ever take a dab of. I'm just,
Hold on, I'm just gonna take these over here.
yeah, exactly. Now he's interested.
I'm just gonna look at
So
them.
in exchange, I'll smoke some 710. No, you
Yeah.
got to try all those.
This is the hazelnut cream. It smells good. It's like nice consistency. It looks like it was $1 million per gram. Dang, this is fire. That's hazelnut cream. That sounds like it's $1 million per gram. It's the same batch. You should. And we got the cheeseburger haze. Don't know about that, but let's
That's
see.
interesting too.
I don't know. I can't really smell too much about that. But French onion, let's see.
It's weird.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying.
I'm trying to think. Okay, so we got 90 micron and 120 micron.
How do you feel about it?
Oh, I mean, they look fantastic.
So, what do you think is the best way to describe that? Actually, right there is. I have people ask me that question all the time
What?
on the microns, so that people like that have never done hash or like have experience with hash and they're going to purchase
Yeah.
some goodies. Could you?
Well, I mean, there's different sizes of screen, like your like mesh, that you can use on your bags. We typically like at 710. I mean, we collect like the 90 and the 40. We separate it between the two, and that's what like most places would either do like a mixed micron, so they'll just like do multiple washes and then combine like their different grades,
Ooh.
or some people will specifically do like a first wash 90U and then everything else will be, whatever. I mean, there's different ways to do it, but the 90U is normally what I like to smoke if I can get it. But I mean, like, obviously you can see that this 120 is really, really nice.
What do you think? Excuse me. You like best about the 90U?
I don't know, like the full. I'm just dropping everything. The
It's
full
okay.
flavor.
It gives it. You think it gives truly a more intense?
Yeah, but I've had really good 40. So it just depends on what. It just really depends. It's like batch to batch, and it sucks to say that, but like I'd rather smoke 90U. Like if I can have a selection, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather smoke that if I'm gonna pay the money,
Dang.
instead of like a mixed micron or something like that. But which is nice though, because Dab Logic, they know what they're doing.
I really like I really like his hash.
So what did you smoke?
This is. Hold on. I do this every time. Nobody panic. Okay. This is the Percy rosin of the Kimbo Kush. Plus lime glaze number 12.
All right.
What's a lime glaze? Are you sure?
I can tell you.
I feel like that
I'm interested in this hazelnut cream, honestly.
I want that cut, but everybody I've been around lately has it, so now I don't want it. It's weird how that happens, but it tastes so like I think it tastes so creamy and like not sweet, but like it's kind of like almost like funky to me, but like thick? What do you think?
So the lime glaze is glazed cherry F2 times key limeade. Um,
Tastes like Sprite to me.
the breeder's umami seeds. So if anybody really wants to like kind of like look into that, look into it.
It tastes like Sprite, like sweet.
I'm interested in this hazelnut cream.
That's all of that.
I don't want nothing to do with Sprite or any of that. I'm a month clean of soda.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was tough because like I really like soda a lot.
You just inspired me. You have just inspired and changed me. 1 month? Did you have bad withdrawals? Yeah, what's going on with that palate?
I mean, you know, like here's the thing, you know what I mean? There's probably nothing from that hazelnut cream that I'm like crazy. I should have probably dabbed the French onion, but like at the end of the day,
You still have to.
nope. I can't.
Next time.
My thing is like I gotta be somewhat coherent going home.
All right. All right. He's got to behave tonight.
We can wrap it up in about 3 minutes.
Well, you don't think that you don't want to try anything else?
My thing is like, you know, I'm not out here trying to like out dab everybody and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I throw back a dab or two.
You're a classy dabber.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, you know, that hash is okay.
You weren't crazy about it.
I don't know.
It's okay.
Sometimes I get like,
You're smoking real good stuff.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I am. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell anybody what I'm smoking because I don't want nobody to take it from the dispensary. But if you know, you know, and it's fire. And that's that. And pretty much, you know, unless I'm going to pay Cali prices, you know, which I'm about at the point where I'm going to have to because I go look at the dispensary menus and it's trash all the time. I go in there and like still like, hey, Green Dot, you're gonna have to step up your game on freaking your rosin, honestly, because like it's
We've got
not.
friends that work there.
We got friends that work there, but like at the end of the day, I'm gonna straight up tell you, like, you know, it's good, but is it really that good? Like you need like the market is hash. I understand, it's like a lot of that stuff is flour, but man. You gotta be making that good Roseanne. I mean, that's what the kids want.
It's true. I'm ready. I feel like I want to do the small batch of Skittles and like some other particular like kosher. I really miss smoking. Like, I know you don't like the kosher.
No, I like OG.
Well, I feel like I need those two to be like most of my room right now. Just for flavor, but I think that we'll smoke joints of it when it's gonna be so far away. But you could give me a product review.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's just like how much candy profile and how much
It's crazy.
OG profile can you have because there's and like if you could do something that like is like 25% Skittles. And that you can like really taste, and then like the rest like a diesel OG GMO whatever like mixture.
Yeah.
I think it would be crazy like because that's what I do is I get my like heavy gas terps put a little bit of Skittles in there, and then like let that puppy blaze, and then you're just like, whoa, like that's what good product needs to be tasting like.
You're right. Well, on that note,
Everybody stay safe.
we're gonna have a special guest the next show. You guys will all be excited. I'm not gonna disclose, but we'll wait until like episode 10 to like really, really step our game full, fierce, and ferociously into the podcast world. But for now, we really appreciate our small listeners and support group that we have.
Yeah, we may do like Instagram live videos.
Yeah,
They're a lot easy. They're a lot.
it's gonna be great.
It's really we just there's a whole bunch of things just in the works.
Gonna start showing tutorials on little tips and tricks.
She is. I'm not.
He's gonna be the videographer.
I am definitely not doing. Oh yeah, I mean potentially. I could probably be a good videographer.
You're my co-host.
And on that note,
everybody, peace and love, and thank you for listening.
pack your lunch.